Stop using AI to learn about perfumery. Why? Rubbish in, rubbish out. The other day I was doing some research. It brought up an article from a perfumery blog that had spelt ambret seed, which is an alternative to musk, and it's a natural, and it called it ambert seed, and I was like, what are you talking about? They were like, well, that's what they said on this perfumery blog, and I was like, it's not called ambert, it's called ambret seed. And they were like, oh, sorry, yeah, my bad. And it repeated it, like the spelling mistake, it repeated it about 20 times. It's not that it's lies, it's basically, if I wrote an article today about that humans can live off a glass of water a day for the rest of their lives, they don't need to ever eat any food, and I put it out there as gospel and I call myself Dr. Melanie Jane, AI would read that, and then if somebody said, can I just live off water and like never eat again because I want to be thin and I want to, like, you know, when I turn sideways I'll like disappear, and AI would be like, yeah, actually Dr. Melanie Jane recommends. So you need to be really careful because it gets information from sources that are perhaps not telling all the truth, or perhaps it's a lot of rubbish, or they've got some information from somewhere and it's like Chinese whispers, you know. But also I want to tell you this really amazing fact. I want to end on this anecdote. When I was doing Friday's fragrant quiz on my podcast Scentcast, I was doing a fragrant quiz, and it was about extraction methods, and what I'm quite interested in is the old technique of enfleurage, where they would use animal fat and soak flowers into the animal fat to extract the fragrance. And Robertet is a fragrance house that still uses that method, not using animal fat, of course, but they're using vegetable fat to extract that for tuberose flowers. But I said, give me something really random about extraction methods and what they might have used in the Victorian era. So it told me that what they would do is they would catch pigeons and rub them in fat. They would put animal fat all over these pigeons, and then they would throw them into rooms filled with millions of jasmine flowers, and then the pigeons would fly around like bumping into all the flowers and getting covered in flowers, and all of the flower fragrance was soaking into the fat of the pigeons. Then they'd scrape the pigeon fat off the pigeon and then use that fragrance. It's not true. And I was like, are you serious? That's not true. That can't be true. You're lying, aren't you? And they were like, oh yes, sorry, I just made that up. Stop using AI to learn perfumery. Learn from an expert, whether it's from me or somebody else, but please don't take what it tells you as a gospel. You really need to learn from an expert. And whether it's from me or anyone that's been in the industry for a while, why learn from them? Because they're not just regurgitating crap that's out there on the internet. They'll give you some good information, of course, but they'll also give you stuff that's not true, and it's hard for you to be able to decipher which is which. But also, when you learn perfumery from an expert, you're not just getting the basics of fragrance, you're getting their little golden nuggets of information that they've gathered over the years in their experience. But not just that, what does AI not have? It doesn't have a nose. Now, Edmund Rudnitska, he is a prolific perfumer, not with us anymore. He created some fantastic fragrances, clung to the motto, simplify, 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 when it came to fragrances. He created Diorissimo for Dior, amongst many others. Eau Sauvage, he also created as well. He, at the time, when computers started to come into modern perfumery, sorry, my light has just gone off. Hello. So he started talking about how perfume was becoming modernized in computers. You know what computers were like in those days? They were gigantic. One server would fill this whole room. Now you've got it on a phone. But he was worried that it was going to be basically perfumers are going to be losing the art, and you will always need a nose. And I spoke to a master perfumer. He said, he started talking about AI actually a couple of years ago, and he said, yeah, we're all a bit concerned in the industry whether it's going to replace us, but it never will, because AI doesn't have a nose, and it's not fucked up formulas, sorry for my French, but it hasn't made those mistakes and rectified them and then come up with a masterpiece. So that's why I would love you to use AI as a companion, as a sidekick, you know, as someone that can assist you with other things. And if you want to go on the learning journey, but please, please, please don't rely on it completely and take everything that it says as gospel. I'm off now to have a cocktail. I think the guy from Amazon is outside my door, and I've got some more false nails. I'm going to show you what I bought. Oh, they're gorgeous.